Golda Meir, Israel's fourth prime minister, once complained that Moses dragged the Israelites through the desert for 40 years in order to bring them to the one place in the Middle East where there was no oil. 50 years later, Israel is at the forefront of technology, second in the world only to Silicon Valley. How did this tiny country the size of Rhode Island, surrounded by mortal enemies and no natural resources, become what is now known as the startup nation? This is David Blumenfeld for the Armstrong-Williams Show.
Allow me to be a mind reader for a minute.
Welcome to the future, Israeli style.
Imagine an artificial intelligence eye that can detect and alert.
In our vision, it's the bridge between content and technologies.
You travel as a car, arrive and park it as a motorcycle.
In our solution, we can have access to blood vessels.
Tel Aviv University recently held a startup competition offering $250,000 to the most innovative company. Where do all these ideas and innovations come from? Is there something in the water? According to John Medved, Israel's leading venture capitalist and founder of Armstrong, the world's largest platform for startup investments, Israel's success lies in its lack of water.
One of the ways of looking at Israel in terms of why Israel has become such a startup nation has to do with our ability through the ages of turning curses into blessings. So we don't have much water here, but we've turned that curse into a blessing because we've become the world leader in desalination, the world leader in drip irrigation, we invented it, and the world leader in recycling. We recycle 85% of our water. We have a company called InsightTech, which is a spectacular company that uses focused ultrasound to essentially stop Parkinson's tremor. Literally, you give them a couple of seconds in this machine and zip, all of a sudden they come out healthier again, and it's almost miraculous. We have companies such as Consumer Physics, who are building a tiny little device that can tell a farmer how the hay is doing before they feed it to the cow. Ride Vision, who are building a collision avoidance system for motorcycles. Alpha Tau, tackling cancer, injecting radioactive darts that doesn't affect the surrounding tissue. The tumors have disappeared in a matter of days. We simply don't have the natural resources that many countries have. But you know what? We have human resources. So we educate our kids really well.
I got my master's degree from Tel Aviv University in cognitive neuroscience. Our company develops cognitive training for older adults. These games teach memory strategies, which help to cope with daily tasks, such as remembering new faces, remembering names, grocery lists, and so on.
Because we are under existential threats, another curse we have is that our kids have to go to the army. It's not voluntary in Israel, it's mandatory.
So how can compulsory army service be a blessing for Israel's young men and women? We were given special access to the Israeli Army's secret cyber training unit.
We are now in the C4IJ6 Cyber Defense Directorate. The cyber range, it's an area that you cannot physically sense, but it is a war zone, an evolving war zone. The IDF is a major building block in what we like to call the startup nation. This entrepreneurship culture starts here at the technological unit at the IDF. We teach nothing is impossible. There are things that are really, really hard, but impossible, it's not something that exists in our dictionary. We try to give them tools and techniques to break big problems into small ones. Also collaborations, knowing that 1 + 1 = 3, thinking outside of the box, creativity, and not afraid from failure. We try to encourage them to celebrate failures and use it to learn to solve problems fast and more efficient way. The secrets must remain here, but the tools, the skills they gained lives with them.
It's a new world out there with an array of peoples and developing ideas.
One group of former Special Unit IDF officers have taken missile tracking technology to try to solve one of the biggest problems facing Israel today.
Tel Aviv has an average of over 360,000 cars on the road at any given moment, and everyone is looking to park.
After finishing the army and working in the Israeli aerospace industries, we developed a unique system that helps the municipality manage their own street parking spaces. Our algorithm or our devices on the street works exactly the same as in the military industry. We recognize the license plate number of the driver. We recognize and track on this vehicle exactly like we've done in the UAVs, unmanned air vehicles, in missiles. And now we're bringing our knowledge from the military industry to the civil one.
It's our 59th NBN Aliyah flight.
Immigrants play a large role in the fact that innovation takes place because immigrants are risk takers. They came to a new country, and together this absolute diversity is a great crucible for creating innovative companies because they bring different skills and different perspectives. Rule breakers who are a little bit brash, but there's another word for that, which is chutzpah. Chutzpah is a unique Israeli trait to basically question everything, to be cheeky, to break rules, to create new science.
You harness machine learning and artificial intelligence to improve success rates in IVF. In the US, it's very, very, very expensive, so many people give up the dream of having a baby, which is heartbreaking. So if it's optimized and you could reach pregnancy by the first or second treatment, lowers the cost and increase success rate.
Deep in the Negev desert, a company called UBQ has invented a revolutionary process which takes all of your garbage and turns it into a new resource.
The beauty of UBQ material is that we work with the unsorted household waste. We take all the waste, the food waste, the pizza leftovers, the banana peels, whatever you end up throwing to your waste bin, plus the mixed plastics, the mixed cardboard and the paper. All that mess go through our process, and we convert that into a new material that can be used to make durable products like chairs, tables, pipes, bins, everything that we commonly use that is also climate positive. There is a concept in Jewish tradition of tikkun olam, which means improving the world, changing the world for the better. That's part of the wisdom of Judaism that has been transferred for ages, and it's really embedded in the DNA of the Jewish tradition also in Israel. We're taking the materials that nobody wants and taking them back to humanity. This is part of the dream of having a circular economy. By avoiding landfilling, our material is saving the planet from those emissions and doing a lot of good to our society.
Many claim that data has now become the world's most valuable resource, surpassing oil. If that is the case, the curse of few natural resources, which has driven this small 70-year-old country to become a high-tech baron, has perhaps been a blessing in disguise. This is David Blumenfeld for the Armstrong Williams Show.